over-the-counter laxatives, the most common medications that we recommend for the most common problem in GI clinic, and that is constipation. Hey, I'm Dr. Glover. I'm a GI doctor out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And in this video, let me share with you which over-the-counter laxatives I recommend to my patients and which I do not. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All this is, of course, assuming that you've had a full workup for your constipation. And by that, I mean you've had a colonoscopy to make sure that there's no blockage, no luminal reason to have constipation. There's no colon cancer there blocking the stool from coming through. You've ruled out pelvic floor dysfunction. You're doing your squats. Remember that if you have pelvic floor dysfunction, no amount of laxatives is going to work for you if the outlet is broken. But assuming all these things have been ruled out, let's rank the over-the-counter laxatives from best to worst. Starting with our Senna side laxatives. These are the same ingredient that you're going to find in Ex-Lax. These are from a plant extract. They work by promoting neurons in your colon to propel the stool out. They are highly effective. They're cheap. You can use it every day. So for that reason, I'm going to put these at tier A. There was some concern in the past that taking these stimulant laxatives on a daily basis can overstimulate the colon and decrease the natural peristalsis of your colon. However, over time, many studies have proven that to not be true. I have many patients that take these on a daily or every other day basis for many decades and do just fine. These Senna laxatives are excellent. Next up, we have MIRALAX here, and I would definitely rate this as the GOAT of all laxatives. The active ingredient is polyethylene glycol. This is the same thing that you're going to find in your colonoscopy prep, like Gavolite or Go Lightly. It is 100% safe. It's highly effective. It's an osmotic laxative, meaning that when you consume the polyethylene glycol, which is a powder, this draws water into your colon, helping to form your stool. It makes your stool softer and helps facilitate a bowel movement. Another benefit that goes hand in hand with it being a powder is that it's easily titratable. So for example, one day you take a little too much and you have the opposite extreme, diarrhea. It's very easy to go back the next day because it's a powder and just take a little bit less. There are zero contraindications. You can use it in everyone. It doesn't matter if there's any heart failure or chronic kidney disease, perfectly safe. This is definitely the Michael Jordan of laxatives, without a doubt, tier S. Next up, we have Dulcolax, which is Bisacodyl. This is very similar to our Senna stimulant laxatives. It works in the same way. It helps promote the gut motility. I don't know of any real difference between Senna or Bisacodyl. Both are about the same. They're safe. They're effective. You can use it every day. I'm going to rate this the same as the Senna sides. Next up, we have Benefiber. Got a big jug here. This is essentially wheat dextran. Comes from plants. It is a soluble fiber. And that's fine if you're not getting enough fiber in your diet naturally. You can supplement with the Benefiber. I have nothing against it. I think technically you shouldn't need it if your diet's on point, but it's very benign. It's easy to tolerate. Although I have found in some of my patients, if you take a little too much, it can induce bloating. Colace next. I have a lot to say about this one. So Colace, or Docusate, is marketed as a stool softener. It is an emollient, meaning that it decreases the surface tension of your stool, thereby allowing water to be more readily absorbed. The thing with the Colace is that it just doesn't work. You know it doesn't work because when you go to buy Colace over the counter and you look at the ingredients, it's rarely Docusate or Colace alone. They have to package it with other things like the stimulants like Senna or Bisacodyl or even MIRALAX because they know it doesn't work. Take a look at this specific Colace formulation that I got from CVS, and you can see on the back here that it has polyethylene glycol in it. This is MIRALAX, but they're marketing as Docusate because they know it doesn't work. This is the one I got from Kirkland, which is straight Docusate. But as an emollient laxative, there are innumerable studies showing that it just doesn't work. And let's have a few examples here. When you look at this randomized controlled trial from the Journal of Pain Management, oral Docusate in the management of constipation in hospice patients, their conclusion was that there's no significant benefit of Docusate plus Senicides, Docusate plus a stimulant laxative, compared with placebo plus Senicides in the management of constipation in hospice patients. In fact, everyone knows that it doesn't work, so if you simply Google Colace has no efficacy, Google will spit out clinical evidence indicates that Colace, Docusate sodium, is largely ineffective, performing no better than a placebo in treating or preventing constipation. Despite being widely used for decades, studies show it does not significantly soften stools, and experts recommend alternatives like polyethylene glycol, aka MIRALAX. A final study trashing Colace in the American Journal of Gastroenterology says that Docusate is no different from placebo for stool softening, a comprehensive review. And in fact, if you look at this graph at the bottom where they're comparing Psyllium, which is Metamucil, compared to Docusate, Psyllium does have some efficacy in increasing the stool water content. Docusate obviously does not. In fact, if you look at the dosing day by day, the stool water content appears to go down in the patients taking Docusate. There was an excellent YouTube video as well by our favorite pharmacist trashing Colace, and I'll link to that below. But for all these reasons, Colace, it doesn't work. Definitely D, do not recommend. Next up, we have milk of magnesia, or any kind of magnesium-based laxative. I recently got this at Costco. It's essentially marketed as support for muscle relaxation, heart, nerve, and bone health. But the reason I want to show you this in particular is that you would not believe the number of patients that come to me in clinic complaining of diarrhea. And when I look at their med list or what supplements they are taking, invariably they're taking some kind of magnesium supplement. Keep in mind that magnesium over the counter is part of what we prescribe for over-the-counter colonoscopy preparation. One of the biggest drawbacks of this milk of magnesia is that you have to be very careful if you are giving this to anyone with any kind of kidney disease, whether chronic kidney disease or acute kidney injury. And let's be honest, most people taking laxatives are elderly, and many of those will have kidney problems. So you need to be very careful. And in fact, if you look on the back here, it says that if you have kidney disease or are taking any medication for your kidney, consult your physician before use. So while these magnesium supplements of any fashion, magnesium citrate, magnesium hydroxide, they all work well, there is the risk of kidney injury, and they also are very harsh on the GI tract. When you take these, you're going to have a bowel movement very fast, and many of my patients complain of cramping, discomfort. So although it works, it does have a number of drawbacks, and for that reason, I'll go ahead and put milk of magnesia in the B category. Metamucil, as we discussed in the prior study, is essentially psyllium husk. Psyllium of any fashion. It's a soluble form of fiber if you're having difficulty getting enough fiber in your diet. It works. Technically, you shouldn't need it. It's not a big deal. It won't hurt you. Although some of my patients do complain of bloating. So we'll go ahead and put this in the same category as Benefiber, wheat dextran, Metamucil, Psyllium, about the same. Finally, leaving us with Cirucel, which is Methylcellulose. This is essentially another form of soluble fiber. It's very similar to Benefiber and Metamucil. I've never heard anyone say that they respond to one better than the other. So we'll go ahead and put this in C as well. So that is my over-the-counter laxative tier list. MIRALAX is definitely the goated laxative. It's safe, it's effective. Colace, we don't recommend at all. These other ones, I can take it or leave it. When a patient comes to me in clinic and asks, what regimen should I use? Of course, we always make sure that you're getting enough fruits, vegetables, water. Shoot for 3 liters of water a day, 30 grams of fiber a day. And then if you still need a little oomph, a little more despite this, we recommend MIRALAX as a powder titrated to the minimum effective dose. And if you run into issues while traveling, you can use these stimulant laxatives like Senna or Bisacodyl. And if you really need it, take some milk of Magnesia. These soluble fiber supplements are fine. You really shouldn't need them, but they're all about the same. And not a fan of Colace. If you have any questions or there's a laxative here I didn't discuss, please leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.